Hello everybody, welcome to Red Elevator. I'm Nina Takesh and welcome to my living room. So this is my foyer. When designing this space, I worked intimately with our architect to make sure that it was a space that was big enough so that you don't feel claustrophobic when entering a house. Over the years, I had the experience of going to many different houses and noticing that the foyers of many homes are a little bit too small. They either don't exist or they really are just a passageway. So when I was lucky enough to be able to build this house from the ground up, one of the things that was really important to me was to make sure and create a very large and welcoming entrance. So the style of this house is transitional, and what that means is that it has a bit of modern and traditional elements. When picking out flooring for the foyer, it was very critical that I chose something that was timeless because of the fact that I wanted to I didn't want to have to redo the house again and again every 10 years. So I picked a very traditional black and white flooring that is very easy and common to find, but we laid it out in a diagonal. And the tiles, again, we had the option of doing a 12-inch tile or an 18-inch tile. And in referencing history, which is really important when designing a house, you want to make sure that you are referencing history correctly. And in the old homes, in the Parisian suburbs or in Paris itself, in the different arrondissements, the tiles were always a 12 by 12. So in picking the flooring for this foyer, we definitely went with the traditional 12 by 12 diagonal black and white tile. So in having a large foyer, there are positives and negatives. The positive is, well, it has that welcoming, large sort of feel to it. But the challenge is, how do you make it feel cozy? And how do you decorate it? So I chose this marble table to center in the center of the foyer, and it's designed by Kelly Wearstler, who's one of my favorite designers in the world. And we wanted to add a little bit of height to it because the ceilings are so high. This goes all the way up to the second floor. And you can easily do that by putting a vase with some sort of longer stem flowers. In this case, we have gladiolas, but you could also easily do branches from your garden. Eucalyptus branches are always fun and they have a nice scent. We added here a bowl that is also from Kelly Wearstler as well. And it's fun, it's perforated. It just makes a really nice statement on the table. And then I realized that everything on this table is Kelly Wearstler because I really like her. So we are piano lovers in this family, and some of us play a little more than others, but it was important to find a nice place for this piano because it is a very large piece. It is a baby grand, and it also gave us the opportunity to fill the foyer because of the fact that it is so large. So we decided to corner the baby grand in this little nook and have the chandelier right above it. So the idea was to perhaps put the musical instruments here in the corner and the table in the middle to balance the two. Again, one of the important principles of design is to have balance, and this really worked nicely. Designing the staircase was a lot of fun, but also very stressful. What elements should one use? And of course, I decided to go with iron because it was more historically accurate. The style of this railing is Art Deco, and you'll see a lot of subtle Art Deco features in this house, such as the soffits. So adjacent to the foyer is the formal living room. Follow me. So in the nook of this formal living room, I set up a bar cart. I found this on a vintage website, and it is made of acrylic and glass, and I just love the fact that it had some pink elements. And I paired it with two beautiful prints that also had the same color, and these are by Esteban Shin. It is really nice to have a bar cart in a formal room because you can just drag it, especially if he has wheels, and most of them do. You can drag it to the middle of the room where people are sitting, and you can have the drink of the evening there, whether you're serving martinis or wine. You could have your cup of ice and serve your drinks. On the other side of the bar cart, I have placed an armoire, and in this armoire I house a collection of my favorite vases, because I do have, other than the china problem, there seems to be a vase problem as well. So here you'll find lots of fun, different pieces that I've collected over the years. You'll see here, for example, from the Rosenthal Do Not Litter collection, these adorable conversation pieces. People always ask about them. This is a milk carton that's a vase. Or here you have the Coca-Cola can that is a vase. And I do occasionally bring them out and put flowers in them and spread them throughout the house. So this is a great way to display some of your collectibles. We talked a lot about furniture placement in one of our episodes, and this is exactly what we discussed, is keeping things away from the walls and creating a round little niche in the middle and the center of the room. Usually that is the best way to design a formal space. One of my go-to pieces is this Barcelona chaise from Mies van der Rohe. This piece can literally look amazing in any room, any style of any home. So if you're ever lost as to what to put in a space, whether it's a bench or a side piece, get the Barcelona chaise. And why not throw a delicious faux fur throw on your Mies van der Rohe? This particular one I got at Amazon, and it is really comfy and cozy. And I can tell you a lot of people come here and cuddle up to it. I was lucky enough to get this coffee table from my family, and it was a piece that they purchased in Italy way back in the late 70s. And I actually can't live without it. I just absolutely love it. And I love the fact that it is the right height. So another element in design which is really important to keep in mind is your seat height and your coffee table really need to be at par. So you don't want to have mismatching heights in your living room or any other space actually. You want to be able to comfortably pick up a glass, and visually it is important to keep the heights of the seats and the coffee table the same. Accessorizing your coffee table is a must. And what I like to do is put my favorite book on the coffee table. I don't want to over accessorize again because I like to keep it clean. But you know, here I have my Tom Ford book, which is a must. Again, we have a Sputnik here. I have my favorite sculptural ant. And I have my Tom Dixon coffee set because I just love the way that it looks. Again, the elements in this house are all very traditional. However, the furniture is modern. That is sort of my key signature style. Here I have a fireplace which was hand carved, that we designed literally by drawing it out, and we had it brought here. And what I love about it is that it has the old school brick. By the way, it's faux brick. Nobody knows. And but the marble is definitely real, and I love the height of this particular fireplace because it gives it that old world feeling of grandeur and depth and importance, which is great in a formal space. Don't be afraid to use a pop of color. Here I used a very fun pink velvet. I reupholstered these mid-century chairs that we found at an estate sale. And I love, again, the fact that they are low. Keeping in mind that my coffee table is low, it really was important to go vintage shopping to find pieces that would work with what I already had. Another piece that I absolutely love in this house is this antique, beautiful dragon that I was lucky to receive from my family. So what's great about this piece is that it's big and it's long, but the history of this piece is also very interesting. Back in the day, the Chinese would parade in the streets and put the dragon on their shoulders as they celebrated New Year. So you can see that this piece actually is mobile. In displaying this piece, I had different options. I could put either a glass case around it, but that seemed too stifling and formal. So I decided to put a lovely little side table, which actually floats underneath here, which gives the dragon a sense of balance. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of Red Elevator. Please make sure and subscribe below and sound off on what other rooms you're interested in seeing. Again, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time.